One mansion has 1,788 rooms. Another cost $1.4 billion to build. Some have their own zip codes, private nightclubs, and literal moats. Today, we're stepping inside the 7 most insane mega mansions on Earth, where walls are lined with gold and a single electric bill can hit $50,000 per month. Number 7. Biltmore Estate, $5 million in 1895 and priceless today. Let's kick things off with an American icon, the Biltmore Estate. Picture this. It's 1889, and George Washington Vanderbilt II, yeah, from that Vanderbilt family, decides he wants a summer retreat. But not just any summer home. He wants something that could rival the grandest chateau in Europe. So what does he do? He hires 1,000 workers and 60 master stonemasons, and they get to work building what would become the largest privately owned home in the United States. The scale? Absolutely mind-blowing. We're talking about 178,000 square feet of living space. To put that in perspective, that's larger than 4 football fields under one roof. The average American home is around 2,300 square feet. Biltmore is roughly 77 times larger. The construction took 6 years, from 1889 to 1895. George Vanderbilt spent $5 million building this estate in 1895 dollars. Adjusted for inflation, that's over $180 million in today's money. So what exactly did $5 million buy you in 1895? The Biltmore is built in French Renaissance style with steeply pitched roofs, towering turrets, and intricate sculptural ornamentation. Step inside and you immediately enter the banquet hall with 70-foot-high ceilings, massive chandeliers, and a triple fireplace that's tall enough to walk into. Then there's the library with over 10,000 volumes, rare books, first editions, leather-bound collections. George Vanderbilt was a serious bibliophile, and this room was his sanctuary. But here's where Biltmore gets really interesting. It had an entire basement level dedicated to leisure and entertainment that was wildly ahead of its time. There's an indoor swimming pool. And remember, this is the 1890s. Indoor pools were almost unheard of, plus a full bowling alley and a fully equipped gymnasium. Today, the Biltmore Estate is one of the most visited historic homes in America, attracting over 1 million visitors annually. It's also still owned by George Vanderbilt's descendants, making it one of the few Gilded Age estates to remain in the original family. Number 6. Villa Leopolda, $750 million estimated value. Next up, we're heading to the French Riviera, specifically to Villefranche-sur-Mer, where one of the world's most legendary estates overlooks the Mediterranean Sea. Welcome to Villa Leopolda. The story starts with King Leopold II of Belgium, who owned the original estate in the early 1900s. But the villa we know today was built between 1929 and 1931 by American architect Ogden Codman Jr. The property spans 7.3 hectares. That's about 18 acres of pristine French Riviera real estate. The architecture is a stunning blend of classical and Mediterranean styles. Think white stone facades, terracotta roofs, elegant columns, and perfectly proportioned windows that capture those incredible coastal views. Picture walking through grand ballrooms where crystal chandeliers hang from ornately painted ceilings. Every piece of furniture is museum quality, every wall adorned with priceless artwork. When Edmund and Lily Safra owned the property starting in 1987, they transformed it into the destination for the global elite. Their guest lists included influential politicians, celebrated artists, and business titans. Champagne flowed freely, orchestras played, and the world's most powerful people gathered here. Then came 2008 and one of the most dramatic real estate sagas in history. Russian billionaire Mikhail Prokhorov agreed to purchase Villa Leopolda for 390 million euros, roughly $500 million. But then the global financial crisis hit. Prokhorov tried to back out, which led to a massive lawsuit. He ultimately had to forfeit his 50 million euro deposit. Yes, he lost $50 million just for changing his mind. The villa never sold to Prokhorov, and it remains one of the most exclusive properties on Earth. Current estimates place its value around $750 million. So it's been featured in classic films like To Catch a Thief with Cary Grant and Grace Kelly, cementing its status as a cultural icon. Number 5. Witanhurst, $450 million plus. Now let's head to London, to a mansion so exclusive that most Londoners don't even know it exists. It's called Wittenhurst, and it's the second largest private residence in London, second only to Buckingham Palace itself. The current mansion was built between 1913 and 1920 by architect George Hubbard for Sir Arthur Crosfield, a soap magnate who wanted a home that would rival the greatest estates in England. Wittenhurst spans 90,000 square feet across 65 rooms on 3 floors. To give you a sense of scale, this is larger than the White House, in the middle of London, as a private residence. Then in 2008, the mansion was purchased through an offshore company by the family of Russian billionaire Andrei Guryev. The transaction was so secretive that most people didn't even know it happened. And here's the wildest part: he built down. Beneath the existing mansion, Guryev's team excavated a massive basement extension, 2 full stories below the entire footprint of the building. We're talking about years of construction and thousands of tons of earth moved. Number 4. Versailles Mansion, estimated $100+ million. All right, let's head to Orlando, Florida. Yes, Orlando, where one of the most audacious construction projects in American history is still unfolding. It's called the Versailles Mansion, and it's attempting to recreate the grandeur of the actual Palace of Versailles as a single-family home. The visionaries? David and Jackie Siegel, founders of Westgate Resorts. In the early 2000s, they decided they wanted the biggest single-family home in the United States. Construction began in 2004, and the original plans were already insane. But as the project progressed, the Siegels kept adding more. The final design? Absolutely bonkers. A 90,000 square foot mansion with 14 bedrooms, 9 kitchens, 3 indoor pools, plus 2 outdoor pools, a 2-story movie theater, a video arcade, a ballroom, a wine cellar holding 20,000 bottles, 2 tennis courts, a bowling alley, and a full-size baseball diamond. The materials? Brazilian mahogany doors and windows, sourced before Brazil banned the trade, and precast concrete with marble veneer. But then 2009 happened. The financial crisis hit and construction ground to a halt. The Siegels put it up for sale at $65 million, but there were no buyers. The whole saga was documented in The Queen of Versailles. But David Siegel wasn't giving up. He regained ownership, secured new financing, and restarted construction. As of today, the mansion is nearing completion and expected to appraise at over $100 million. The 14 bedrooms are massive suites. The 9 kitchens serve different purposes: family meals, catering, specialty cuisines. The 2-story movie theater has balcony seating and rivals commercial cinemas. The Versailles Mansion represents the American dream taken to its absolute extreme. Proof that ambition and persistence can turn even the most ridiculous vision into reality. Number 3, Bel Air Mansion, the One, $141 million sale price. Next, we're heading to Bel Air, California to check out a mansion literally called the One. This was the brainchild of developer Niall Niami, known for creating extravagant spec homes. But the One was his magnum opus, 105,000 square feet of pure luxury. That's roughly the size of a Walmart supercenter, except filled with the most luxurious amenities money can buy. The One has 21 bedrooms and 42 bathrooms. 42. Each bathroom is a spa-like experience with marble, state-of-the-art fixtures, and heated floors. But the amenities? This is where it gets wild. There's a full-service beauty salon, a private movie theater, a private bowling alley, and here's the insane part: a private nightclub inside the mansion. Full bar, DJ booth, dance floor with lights, and sound systems that could power a commercial club. The mansion features a 10,000 square foot sky deck with 360-degree views of LA, multiple swimming pools, meticulously landscaped gardens, and a moat surrounding it on 3 sides for extra security. The story gets interesting. The One was supposed to sell for $500 million. But after years on the market with no buyers, it went into receivership and was auctioned off. Richard Sagian, CEO of Fashion Nova, bought it for $141 million. And the costs of owning it? Cooling this mansion during summer costs an estimated $50,000 per month. Last year, the monthly electric bill hit $27,000. The property uses roughly the same energy as 40 average homes combined. Sagian also owns a $40 million beachfront mansion in Malibu because one mega mansion just isn't enough. Number 2, Buckingham Palace, estimated value $5+ billion. All right, now we're stepping into true royalty. Buckingham Palace isn't just the second largest mansion on our list. It's one of the most famous buildings on Earth and the official residence of the British monarch. The story begins in 1761 when King George III purchased Buckingham House for his wife, Queen Charlotte. Then came Queen Victoria in 1837, who made it the official royal residence. With legendary architects like John Nash and Edward Bloor, the building underwent massive expansions. What emerged? A 775-room masterpiece. We're talking about 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 188 staff bedrooms, 92 offices, 78 bathrooms, and 19 staterooms. The palace covers 828,000 square feet, nearly 8 times larger than the White House. During World War II, Buckingham Palace was bombed 9 times. One bomb destroyed the royal chapel, but the palace was rebuilt and restored to its former glory. Inside the palace, the staterooms are where official events happen. The throne room has actual thrones and is used for ceremonies. The ballroom is the largest room, hosting 400 guests for state banquets, with crystal chandeliers and walls lined with royal portraits. The picture gallery is a 150-foot corridor lined with masterpieces by Rembrandt, Rubens, and Canaletto, like walking through one of the world's finest art museums. The palace employs over 800 staff, butlers, housekeepers, chefs, security, and gardeners maintaining the 40-acre palace gardens. Every summer, Buckingham Palace opens its staterooms to the public for about 10 weeks. It also hosts garden parties where up to 8,000 guests mingle on the grounds. What's it worth? Estimates place its value at over $5 billion, though it's essentially priceless. It belongs to the British nation and serves as a symbol of the monarchy itself. Number 1. Istana Nurul Iman Palace, $1.4 billion construction cost. And now we've arrived at number 1, the largest residential palace in the world. Welcome to Istana Nurul Iman Palace in Bandar Seri Begawan, the capital of Brunei. In the early 1980s, Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei wanted a palace that would symbolize his nation's wealth and power. Brunei, a tiny oil-rich nation, had become fabulously wealthy from petroleum, and the Sultan wanted a residence to reflect that. He commissioned architect Leandro Vitt-Locsin to design the palace. Construction began in 1984, and the numbers are staggering. The palace cost $1.4 billion to build. Adjusted for inflation, that's over $4 billion in today's money. One of the most expensive buildings ever constructed. When completed in 1984, Istana Nurul Iman became the largest residential palace in the world. 1,788 rooms, nearly 1,800 rooms, 2,152,782 square feet of floor space, over 49 acres under one roof. This palace is nearly 3 times larger than Buckingham Palace. It's bigger than the Pentagon. So what do you do with 1,788 rooms? There's a banquet hall that can accommodate thousands of guests, a full-size mosque within the palace with stunning architecture, a 110-car garage for the Sultan's $5 billion car collection, 5 swimming pools, each more lavish than the last. But Istana Nurul Iman isn't just a residence. It's the seat of Brunei's government. The palace houses the Prime Minister's office, and important state functions take place here. Every year during Hari Raya Eid al-Fitr, the palace opens to the public. Over 110,000 visitors get a rare glimpse inside, and the Sultan himself greets them personally. The palace's golden domes are visible from miles away, and the interior features gold leaf, crystal chandeliers, silk carpets, and custom furniture throughout. Operating costs run tens of millions annually. Staff salaries, utilities for 2 million square feet, maintenance, security, and groundskeeping. Istana Nurul Iman represents the absolute pinnacle of residential architecture. No other private residence on Earth comes close to its size. It is, quite simply, the biggest mansion in the world. We've just toured over 3 million square feet of luxury real estate worth billions of dollars combined. So here's my question. Which mansion would you choose if money was no object? Would you pick Biltmore for its American history? Villa Leopolda for those Mediterranean views? The one for its modern nightclub? Or go full royalty with Buckingham Palace or Istana Nurul Iman? Drop your answer in the comments. If you made it this far, smash that like button, subscribe for more content about how the ultra-wealthy live, and check out our other videos. Thanks for watching.